welcome. This is Sabbath Insight, right? Sabbath Insight. We are sisters from the House of Yuya, of course. I'm sure you know our faces by now. And we are following behind our master, Jegna, founder of Our New Life Global Ministries, that is Chief Yuya. We're following his Sabbath message on the tribal psychology. Make sure that you go over to the Our New Life Global Ministries YouTube channel and check out that Sabbath Insight if you haven't already. He's dropping a lot of great gems and notes. I would say take a lot of notes and just, allow yourself to be taken away by the things that he's sharing, okay? All right, so with that being said, we're going to jump into it.
Yeah, I just thought this whole series of speaking about tribal mindset and the Anu mindset has been powerful because it's like we're all a part of Anu, we're all a part of a community. So it's like just sharing more of like what that really looks like and how psychology plays a part and how you have to have a certain mind in order to even function in that way. So there was a lot that was shared that I was like, okay, yeah, that stuck out. I would just say the first thing is how we have to determine or really apply the principle of Kujichagulia, self-determination. So we have to determine who we are so that we are projecting that character inside of the community and we're being responsible in that way. And people can trust, like, okay, I can rely on this person because I know this is what they do, this is what they bring. But I think that he did speak about how we have to be responsible because we can throw off other people's energy if we're not thinking in that mindset of like, okay, group identity, I'm in the tribal psychology. If we're like thinking like in a selfish way and it's just like I'm only focused on myself, then you're not thinking about other people who are around. You don't have a community mindset. So just kind of going and speaking about tribal psychology, group identity is like, and speaking about community, that was one of the things that stuck out to me. It's like,
the point about being aware, like how you affect other people and not just moving around like it's just you. I think a lot of us are learning that, that the I, like if we say I don't remember who said it, but it's like, if you say I, the I doesn't exist without other people. So it's kind of like, if you're moving around and you're thinking that everything that you do it doesn't affect other people, then it's like you lack that self-awareness and you lack the, that ability to see that we're all connected in some way, shape, or form. And I never forget the example Master used, and I've experienced it too, where like you might go somewhere, go to a place or a building, and then after the event or whatever is over, you go to an event, after the event is over, you run into somebody and they say, I just felt like I knew you were here, I just felt your presence or something. It's like, that's an example of like you extend outside of yourself. So if it could happen in something like that, a setting like that, imagine how it would be if you're amongst your own tribe, someone you're seeing day in and day out, so that's what I thought about.
yeah, and even when he spoke on like when a woman, he gave the example of like when a woman is on her menses and how she throws off certain like spiritual activity, like because it's like, okay, you're throwing everybody's vibration off, you need to go and separate yourself. But he did mention like, but if you like the Virgin Mary and you're able to manage and control your sexuality, then it's like that won't be a problem. He used that example, and that kind of piqued my interest because it's like that's a science that we don't learn as women, like how to be able to control and manage our sexuality. It's like, yeah, we have the emotions, we have to manage our emotions, but I do think all of that is connected to a woman's sexuality and her femininity and things of that nature. So that did pique my interest, like, there's more to study and learn there. Yeah, like, how do you control that?
Your
and what does that look like? Because I do think it's beyond just like, okay, being promiscuous or like, I think it's deeper than that. I don't think it's that,
Of course, society, the dominant society would tell us that controlling your sexuality is, I'm gonna sleep with as many men as I want. I'm gonna, for my own personal pleasures, I'm gonna, I don't know, show off my body, whether I'm 300 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever. But it's like that to some degree. People think that that's controlling your sexuality, but I think about there is a level of responsibility and of course self-awareness. Like, if you understand the power of what your sexuality has, and how it affects others or how it affects the counterpart, then how do you use it in a wise way? How do you use that in a wise way and not a what's the word I'm looking for?
Irresponsible,
careless. Just how do you use that in a And I don't know if I've ever experienced or seen any woman who has done it in a wise way or responsible way.
Well, I do know, like, in a new way, it says a woman should use her sex to bring her man, like, higher, not to, like, bring him into, like, that lower vibrational place, so I do think that she's using it to, like, she's not being manipulative and like attention seeking and causing a lot of drama, but she's using that beauty, that femininity, that sensuality to do positive things with it. Like, I'm gonna go and do this, and I'm doing this for the family, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but you're using it in a positive way. You're not using it to manipulate me or try to get me to do something for you that is like not gonna fly, things like that. Right. That's how I imagine it, but I am curious to know what you all may think about that. Leave your comments in the comment section below to add to that. But yeah, that's what I think of. At least some of it.
Yeah.
But I know it goes deeper.
Absolutely.
But another thing that stuck out is when he was talking about like the status of an elder, like how it's becoming like where you're younger and younger and younger, and now it's like, okay, he mentioned the age 36, and it's like, okay, if you have your full consciousness and it's intact, then you're an elder. So I'm like,
and you're striving. You're striving. What does it say? You're striving.
You're trying to grow. So I'm like, that seems so young. Like, cause when I think about elder, I think about like 50 and up. So I'm just like, that's super young. But I guess these days, maybe because the mindset of the people is just so like wayward and it's so lost, that if you have your full consciousness and you're at that age, it's like you gotta just help the people. No matter you capable, you capable at that point to be able to help and assist people.
It probably would, if you're looking at the masses, it would probably look like you're finding a needle in a haystack to find a 25-year-old or someone that young, and they are conscious, but they are striving and actually achieving something in life, and they're not crazy or anything like that. And I thought about and we mentioned it, I was saying, like, to me, I think about Tupac and just how young he was, but had so much wisdom. And it's like, well, he could have been an elder, and for some he was an elder. There are a lot of young people who look at him and feel like the things he was saying and speaking of was just such a beautiful thing and something to let guide you. But I think about, what if he had an elder, someone who was guiding him? Then maybe some of the corruptions that he came in contact with, maybe it wouldn't have taken him so far off the path, because it was evident that he was like a young person who inspired and could actually reach younger people, and so I just think about, like, if we all have our positions and our roles, and we know we're supposed to be doing, and we identify who our tribe is, and we're moving and functioning in that, there's so much that can be done. There's so much that can be added on, but unfortunately, sometimes we don't have that opportunity to really truly find our tribe and really begin to hone in on what our roles are and who we're supposed to be, and so.
This is like one of the beautiful things about Anu is that we've been taught so much. So it's like all the information that has been laid out for us to learn and to, like, it's a blessing. So it's like, if we're not applying those things genuinely, And it's like I can only imagine that it's probably fear. It's probably I don't want to change. And there are segments that talk about when you're stuck in cycles, you don't want to change. And so it's like the answers is out there, you know. But I do think when he spoke about like being colonized and having to get out of that mindset, and like you have to like free your mind and get out of that dehumanizing like way of thinking, because he was saying we lost our humanity,
Right.
and it's like, okay, you got to get out of that to even be thinking right, because then you'll come into a holy space, you'll come into a community, and you're not even functioning how the culture is like wasn't like intended for us to live, and you're not even following it. You may be still like halfway in Babylon. Well, I still want to go to the movies. I still want to. Well, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with movies, but I'm just saying you still may want to go, like I guess, to the club from time to time and be like, but I'm not new, but I'm gonna go and hang out and do this and do debaucherous things, you know. So it's like, okay, what are you really representing? Your mind is still not right. It's still not anu. You're still not thinking group. Then you don't have a group identity. You're not thinking as like a group of people. You still like doing things that are pleasurable for the self.
For yourself.
Yeah.
Think about like that being that contrast between humanity being a human and versus being, you know, something that's more animalistic. You driven by the flesh. And I think, of course, like the dominant society has taught us how to live that way and function that way. And I think because they function that way and maybe it works for them, we function that way, it's a dysfunction. You know, it doesn't actually help us. So it just makes me think of like, this is why it's important to understand why you need roles, why you need elders, why you need, you know, those people in place.
Yeah, then when he spoke about like, I shouldn't say, well, the scripture that you just read, Galatians 5:22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. He did mention like an elder, like are they imparting those things to someone else? That's important. In order to be able to exhibit the fruits of the Spirit, like you have to have that Spirit inside of you. So when he was saying like if you have your full consciousness intact, I thought about like, okay, one of the ways to see that is if you are exhibiting those characteristics. And it's like, okay, at that point, yeah, you definitely need to be passing it along, like be that person that people can come to, younger sisters can come to in our case, and for assistance, and be able to like, or for just to be like, hey, I need some wisdom, I'm going through something, I need to hear a feminine perspective, or you know, and just be able to hear some sound wisdom, because when you're going through things, there's a lot of people there's poor counsel all around. So to find someone who has wise counsel, be like, let me tell you what it really is. I'm not going to just tell you something temporary where you're going to come back and be like, I'm back in the same place. It's like everything that we're learning is so that you can permanently eradicate situations that you found yourself in, so that you don't be in those situations again, because you have a better character. But a lot of times when people get like readings, or they're looking for quick fixes, they like, just help me fix my situation right now, and then once it's fixed, they back in it again. So like when we talk about wise counsel, is like wise counsel that's not going to have you back in bad situations because you didn't fix yourself. And then also being able to tell the truth, like I'm gonna tell you what it really is. I'm not gonna speak to your I'm not gonna speak to your ego. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's wrong, and if you can't take it, then your spirit is just is weak, and you have to strengthen that. So
I think about getting to the root, you know, and when you talk about fixing things, because it's very easy to put a bandage on and say, okay, I'm good, you know, and then the next 6 months you're going through the same thing. And I thought about the experiences and things that I have seen, where innately younger people are going to be seeking guidance. Like they're seeking it now, even though it may not seem like it. It seems like they just, I don't care, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, I don't care nothing about my ancestors, whatever. But underneath that, I sense the undertone of like, they are crying out for elders. Where are the elders? And I feel like a lot of times people are not stepping up to truly be elders. And that's the difference, like within I knew, it's like you are required. You have to step into, you know, these roles. You have to be those things, because how else will this thing continue to move forward? You know, a movement, it's something that has to continue to move. So we have to grow and we have to move. And, I just think, like I said, a lot of times people have went seeking that guidance, and they'll go to the spiritualists, and they'll go to the emas and the babalas, and they're looking for that. And sometimes they think they might have found what they were looking for, but a lot of times it's a scam. A lot of times they end up getting driven into something deeper, or a deeper hole, or just going in a circle, and then months later they may find themselves being resentful or regretting it because they found out, oh man, this person was a liar, or they not actually living it themselves. So I just think, again, like, the importance of finding a tribe that really are moving and standing on those principles and standing on that character development. Like, without that, it's like, how do you identify who your elders are?
Right.
How do you distinguish? Just because someone has said, I'm Ema this and I'm a spiritual that, like, you got to be able to discern.
Right.
You got to be able to discern.
Yeah, especially as, like, women, I know our chief Jagna has been sharing for years, like, women are the biggest suckers. So it's like we fall for anything, so it's like being able to, I think, like, even taking on the Anu mindset, one of the things that we've all learned just being a part of Anu is improving our level of discernment. And because I could say it wasn't there before for me, but, like, just having that discernment now and be able to see, like, oh, I know what that is, just based on the knowledge that I've learned. So yeah, being able to have those eyes to see, it does help you make better choices and therefore have a better life, to be able to, like, okay, now I can help somebody. So not saying that I'm all the way there, or that we're all the way there, because it's like, I knew it's a hospital and we're striving. So whoever is on that journey and looking to strive and jump on board and be like, you know what, I want to be a part of that, I want to help what y'all doing, that's what it's about. Like, we're building. It ain't built. We're helping to build the kingdom. Okay,
it's an ongoing process.
So.
But I like when you said, like, being able to see and discerning and having that knowledge. And I think about, of course, John 3:3 comes to mind. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, unless a man be born again, he shall not see the kingdom of the Elohim. So it's like that being born again, the renewing of the mind, and taking in information, or knowledge, and applying it and making it wisdom. So you get the understanding, and then you have that discernment.
Right.
And so often you don't see that, of course, in I would say, like, those environments that some of us have probably came out of. You don't see true, like, knowledge being given, wisdom applied, and people really living from a place of understanding. So if you are looking for that, of course, you have that opportunity. Why not join Anu? We're right here, So that's my spiel. That's my spiel.
And on that note, that will conclude this segment, if you will. From now on, we will be doing pre-recording. So just subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you can receive be notified every time we come out with a new video. So.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. For all those who are watching, click the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. Until the next time. Peace.
Peace, everyone.
Thanks for continuing to rock out with us. If you like that episode, check out some of our previous Sabbath insights. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and catch Chief Yuya message every Sabbath, only on House of Yuya.